Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Victoria Phillips, and I'm the CEO of Give to Africa. We provide resources for African nonprofit and NGO. Part of it is training, and that is the reason why we are here to train, to equip the nonprofits all over Africa, and we're grateful for the support and for everyone that is here to join us today. Thank you so much for your time. Today, we're going to be talking about an interesting topic because we know funding is something that is, as I was saying, funding is something that is very difficult to come by, especially in the African community. Funding is very difficult at this time. So, uh, being resilient and also being adapting to the situations and looking at what works, it's really, really very important. And one of the things that works is engagement, individual donors, and also building community around the nonprofit. We've seen fewer and fewer grant opportunity, and even the one that are available right now, there's a lot, and a lot is very, very competitive. And one of the ways that nonprofit NGO can build relationship, can build that community is through LinkedIn. LinkedIn, when it originally started, it started as a place where you can put up your profile. You can talk about your job and celebrate your milestones, about your achievements. Oh, I just got promoted. Oh, I just reached 10 years I've been working at XYZ organization. But over the years, LinkedIn has evolved more than that. It has become a place, a community, a hub where you meet decision makers. It has become a place where you meet people that will be interested in your courses. Also, a place where you meet people that determines decision maker that determine whether you get the grant opportunity, whether you get your proposal to those companies that you wanted to partner with. It has become a place where you meet such people. It has also become a place where you meet your potential board members, and also a place where you get people that can rally around your causes and also support what you're doing. So it has evolved over the years to become where you can actually build a community. And that is why I'm here with my very good friend Mario today, who is an expert, in how a non-profit NGO can actually leverage LinkedIn to make all of this happen. And before that, I want to talk about him. I want to give a brief overview of his profile and one of the things he's doing so that you can get to know him. He's a man of so many impact, but he's the CEO of, and he's an impact driven entrepreneur, an angel investors and advisor dedicated to building ventures that prove profit and purpose that go hand in hand. Is also committed to drive meaningful change. His story began from Dominican Republic, and he also turned to a corporate philanthropy, building platform that use AI technology to transform how organization engage in social group. His platform went ahead to raise almost $1 million in investment, to redefine the role corporates, drive social group. And, in all of this, he has turned his energy to helping nonprofit to do good, and also to be able to leverage technology to improve their mission. So I'm very glad to have my very good friend here, Mario, and to take it away and have the time. I think you have about 45 minutes to talk about the topic, and also want to give room for people to ask questions. So thank you so much. It's over to you.
Well, thank you very much, Victoria, for having me. It's an absolute honor. Very privileged to be here. Thank you to you and the team behind Give to Africa. And yes, I've been fortunate enough to be doing this for the past year or so, and we're seeing just incredible success for organizations that are leveraging LinkedIn. So, a little bit of background regarding statistics, research that we did to understand the state of LinkedIn, and then I'm going to give you some very much actionable tips. Implementation techniques that you can start doing today, immediately, to change everything from fundraising to finding volunteers, board members, and just raving fans for your organizations. Now, for everybody tuning in and listening in, if you have the confidence, if you feel good, turn on your cameras. This is going to be a lively session. I always like to talk to other humans behind the Zoom as well. If you want to stay with the camera off, I completely understand, but it just always makes it a lot more friendly in terms of the approach. Now, I'm going to be doing a screen share so that I can actually showcase everything in terms of LinkedIn itself. It's very important to understand that only 49% of nonprofits are actually active on LinkedIn. It is a very low number. Now, the reason that it's so important is because right now we're living in a gold mine of an opportunity so that those nonprofits that actually get active on LinkedIn have the first mover advantage. Now, what it means to be active is that it has to go beyond just having an organizational page that is registered on LinkedIn, but actually getting your personal branding, who you are, whether you're a fundraiser, comms teams, whether you're in marketing, whether you're a board member, or if you're the founder and CEO of your organization, you need to be able to transmit that personal branding all through LinkedIn because we have transitioned from a local based approach, transactional mindset to one where these different corporations, these different companies and individuals want to understand the human behind the cause itself. They need to have that face-to-face interaction. And to be able to do that, you have to have your personal branding very well set up. Now, LinkedIn, given that it has only 49% of nonprofits that are actually active on there, has that first mover advantage. It also has a high access to wealth. This, unlike other platforms such as Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and so forth, where there's a lot of the pray and spray approach of just posting and hoping for the best, it doesn't lead to financial stability. It doesn't lead to sustainable funding. And ultimately, you might just be preaching to an audience that just they want to donate, but they just can't. And as much as the good intentions are there, they just don't have the monetary prowess to be able to donate or support the mission. On LinkedIn, on the other hand, you can actually find the decision makers. You can cut through the noise and actually tap into the CEOs, the chief executive officers, chief marketing officers, chief financial officers, directors, owners, and partners of businesses. These are individuals that can either be running million-dollar companies and are still wanting to hear you out when you do it in the right methodology. So let's start in the very beginning, the foundation, which is having a solid profile. Profiles have to go beyond just showcasing who you are or treating it as a job resume. The profile is actually your greatest billboard. Think about it as free advertisement. There's a billion registered users on LinkedIn, and you have the ability to always showcase who you are and the causes that you're powering through this free platform. So, traditionally speaking, and unfortunately so, this is what we find a lot on LinkedIn. And this happens both in the for-profit industry and the nonprofit industry. Now, what happens is that they don't understand the power again of LinkedIn. The fact that you can have lead generation created immediately for inbounds without having to pay a single cent or a single dollar. So when I go to someone's profile over here, for example, and let's say, and Felicia, I know her well, and she's okay with me utilizing this. But for example, I enter this profile and just raise your hands here on Zoom. Like, what do you think Felicia Morales does? Do you know by any chance? By looking at this profile, and you have 5 to 10 seconds. We have to understand that humans have a short attention span. So in reality, as soon as you start seeing a little notification here, your red icons, this is all driven by social media tactics and so forth. I might enter Felicia Morales, and then all of a sudden I click on this icon, I have left. That was an opportunity to capture me as a potential donor, volunteer, supporter, partner, and so on. The opportunities here become endless. But since I wasn't captivated, one, the very first thing I might think is that she's not active on the platform. She's not even, she might be a dormant profile. And so I have no idea who she is. She apparently has 15 years of dedicated service. And I can see over here that she's actually has a nonprofit. She's part of More Love Restoration Community Center. but I have to go all the way down. For you to reach this area over here, you have to first capture me in this area right here. So this is your greatest, most important billboard and your opportunity to shine in terms of your branding. The same things occur even when people actually have a nice picture. Where there is hope, there is healing. It's a nice quote, and I respect Mara for it. But at the end of the day, if I ask you right now again, what does Mara do? We have no idea. This is a quote that doesn't transmit a message to me. So I have no idea what it is that she's actually working on. Is it a cause that aligns with me? And we always have to understand that. Not every cause aligns with every individual, and that's perfectly okay. People either donate to a cause because of a personal relationship to the cause and experiences that they suffered through in their background, whether they are from the area or not. You have to be able to transmit this message in 5 seconds. So, to just give you an example, I'm going to showcase my LinkedIn just to demonstrate a very clear-cut example of what it is to transmit a message. Immediately, when you go to my LinkedIn, I have a very clear banner and it tells you, helping nonprofits secure corporate partners and major donors all through LinkedIn. I truly believe that in these 5 seconds, you know exactly what I'm all about. So whether you're looking for SaaS products or you're looking for sustainability or ecology, etc., you know that I'm not that person. I am very much focused on helping nonprofits win through LinkedIn, through corporate partnerships and major donors. So my message is so clear that I just want to cut through the noise. First rule of marketing, if we're trying to talk to everyone, we end up talking to nobody. So I want it to be so specific that this is my audience. I just want to talk to nonprofits. If we continue downwards, right here, turning LinkedIn into a fundraising engine for nonprofits, I am bombarding you again with the same message in a different format, but the same message. And why is this so important? Because as soon as you start getting active and you start writing posts, immediately it pops up everywhere. So if you see over here, and we actually open up this post, whenever you're writing content, it's right here, turning LinkedIn into a fundraising engine for nonprofits. You have to think like a marketer. As nonprofits, you have to also become the greatest marketers. And so this is something that is so key to be able to implement. Not only is it important when you're actually posting content yourself, but now it's even more important when you're actually commenting on other people's posts because it actually, again, pops up in every one of your comments. So imagine you're reaching out or placing in a comment to someone like Bill Gates, as an example, who has millions of followers and millions of people also commenting on this post. That is free marketing. Where do you get the chance to share your message immediately to all those different individuals? So whenever I comment on somebody else's post, they can see immediately turning LinkedIn into a fundraising engine for nonprofits. 5 seconds, they know what I'm all about. And right now, I'm not concerned to connect with other SaaS founders or individuals in the petroleum industry, etc. I want them to know that I want to connect with nonprofit organizations. That is my target audience. That's who I want to work with. Same thing we have to do when we actually work with nonprofit organizations. So, for example, Margaret came through our program. She's running a nonprofit that is based in Kenya. It's called No One to Love. And the same thing was occurring. She had a profile that looked very much like this. Now, the issue was that, again, it wasn't transmitting the message. So immediately, now we know I'm a dream builder building self-reliant families in Kenya. We know exactly what she's all about. We know that she's focused in Kenya. It's not just the African region. She's very specific. This is the country that I'm working in. This is what I'm supporting. Families in need, self-reliant communities, one family and one village at a time. Call to action. Visit our website, knowwhentolove.org. I want you to go to different locations because of the call to action. So we don't want to have, again, something like this, where it's an inspiring quote, but it's not leading me anywhere. You need to lead people to where you want to go. And that is the power of having a profile that gives you the call to action, a headline that tells you exactly where you should be going, and placing in things like this, a link where I tell you, okay, get off of LinkedIn and now go to my website. So these are opportunities that you can have to send them to where you want to be getting or receiving potentially a donation. This is what we also call lead magnets. So today, as a exercise, after you've gone through this webinar, I want you to consider with your organization, do you share a newsletter? Do you share a potential avenue of where you can obtain and extract data? Do you provide impact reports? Can you provide a video of the village that you are supporting, or whether it's sustainability, whether it's any other facet that you're supporting? but can you share that information to a potential donor? Because if so, I'm going to provide you with a resource, and everybody that's tuned into this call, I'm going to be asking Victoria if it's okay to share your emails, but I will send free resources that we have, this being one of them. It's just a 16-minute free training that we provide. Now, why is this so powerful? As you realize, right here, if we go back, we are under LinkedIn's control, let's say. It's all living in their database. I don't want to be dependent on their algorithm, and I want to make sure that I can extract data that's living on LinkedIn. So this is what we call a lead magnet. Once you click on this, I'm providing just free training. It's a free video. Anybody can download it. I'm not charging absolutely whatsoever for it. But what I am asking for is your first name, last name, email, phone number, and what revenue size best fits your organization. This is data that I am putting into my own CRM. I am now extracting the data from LinkedIn that's living in their platform, and I'm controlling that data now. So think about it for your organization, whether you were providing a free video or a newsletter, obtain that information for free for yourself, that those becomes your pipeline of potential donors. And you can start segmenting. Are you interested, for example, instead of revenue size, are you interested in being a corporate partner? Are you interested in becoming a volunteer? Are you interested in being a board member? We are open to all these possibilities. And this is all ethical. You can do it for free, and you can, again, set it up for your organization so that LinkedIn becomes, again, a funnel for your organization and the growth of your organization. This is why it is so powerful to set these things up. And again, this is all for free. Everything that I'm showcasing is for free. You don't have to have a premium account on LinkedIn. You don't have to pay LinkedIn to set these things up. So I will show you through the resources that you download how to set up these featured sections, how to actually get these lead magnets that become so powerful for the organization as well. So that is profile. When we talk about setting up an attractive profile, it is to become findable and become fundable. So those two things are so important to always keep in mind, and how to create lead magnets to obtain data from LinkedIn itself. So these are resources that I'll be providing so you can start setting up an attractive profile today, immediately on LinkedIn. Now, once we've done that, that is the foundation. Think about that being, you can't build a penthouse before you actually have a foundation for the building, correct? But it's also the tip of the iceberg. So setting up a profile is just the very beginning. We also have to start creating content on LinkedIn. Now, that doesn't mean that you have to spend hours on LinkedIn to generate content, or that you have to place in the content every single day, but you do have to be able to showcase content at least twice to three times a week to just showcase, again, the good that you're doing. So we always think about content in two different opportunities or aspects. For example, I like to think of content in two very specific ways. One, establishing trust, or establishing yourself as an authority. So basically saying, listen, I've been CEO of an organization that is helping and empowering communities in Nairobi, and I've been doing this for 5 years. Now set up the numbers, the impact metrics. In the last 6 years, we have saved over 1,000 lives, and we did it this way. And then write out your post to just showcase the organization and the impact metrics. All you're doing is, again, you are not asking for donations, you are not pitching. It is very important to just establish yourself as a credible source. There's a lot of individuals that are going to be either reacting to your post, but if they don't get disheartened, because there's what we call the silent lurkers. A lot of people that are looking at your material, but they are not commenting or they're not reacting. That doesn't mean that they're not reading it. And I very much like to highlight this. One of my posts about 6 months ago, for example, I was talking about corporate partnerships, purpose within the corporations, and it was a post that only got about 10 reactions. That's a very low reaction count for my own follower growth. Nevertheless, I didn't get disheartened. One of the readers that read the post loved it so much that they contacted me that very same day and hired me as a keynote speaker in Aruba for their Impact Awards. So from one post that didn't get any reactions, didn't get even a comment, someone resonated so well with the post that they wanted me to become their keynote speaker for the award ceremony. And that same day, they hired me. So whenever you're writing a post, don't get disheartened by vanity metrics. So we have to be very thoughtful of that. You have to be consistent every single time. It doesn't matter. When I started on LinkedIn, I only had about 1,000 followers. A year later, I have 45,000 followers plus, and it's generating all sorts of opportunities. Why? because it's all based on consistency. So always keep that in mind. That is one format or one methodology. Thought leadership, credibility, authority. Very important things to keep in mind. Second strategy is where you are looking to see who's your right community. And I like to make a distinction between building an audience and building a community. An audience could just be many individuals that are commenting on your post. They could be involved in all sorts of industries, and they just don't really are not inspired or aren't committed to your mission. That's okay, but they're not going to be moving the needle forward. That's why I don't really care or concern myself too much about going viral. I had a post with 1 million impressions. It wasn't my main community. It was just a lot of audience, but it didn't move the needle forward in terms of revenue for the organization, visibility. It didn't do anything for me. So what do I prefer? A post with 1 million impressions that's considered viral, or a post with 20 to 50 reactions that actually moves the needle forward and books 5 calls of your potential donors, partners, supporters, and so on. So be very strategic. And this is why I'll show you one, what we call a lead magnet post. So right here, I am looking to generate leads. I am looking to understand who is my ideal audience or community. So if I had and the post started with, if I had to rebuild a nonprofit board from scratch today, I wouldn't start with donations. I would start with this. I'm giving free advice over here. This is what we do. I just want to provide value to my community. I give an entire framework and strategy of what I would do. Now, if you go down all the way, it says comment board, and I'll send you a free resource on how to help you build one. This is what we were talking about before, the lead magnets. How can I provide you a free video? How can I provide you a newsletter so you can get to know a little bit more about what we're doing? When I'm giving them a call to action board, anybody that's going to write board is already very much understandably so, either a nonprofit organization and they want to be able to establish a good board. Everybody else, I'm not really minding for. This post got 1,300 reactions, 738 comments. Now, what we were talking about, I don't care about the virality. I don't care about the vanity metrics. What I do care about is that all of a sudden, if we start going down, people were commenting bored, bored, bored. Every single one of these individuals is my ideal audience. So that's a lead magnet post. Now, what do I do with every single one of these individuals? I send them a message and I send a free resource that's talking about building a board. Then I place that data into my CRM and they become again within my pipeline. So we have to consider it the same way. You can establish that by doing it in a very same format for your causes or your organizations. For example, we were working with a nonprofit. She's all about preventive care for animals, making sure that they can do screening for cancer treatments for their pets. And she's very much utilizing pictures of different dogs. So, for example, it doesn't have to be, and you don't have to be so, let's say, black and white, where it has to be this lead magnet. But she did a post where it was saying, talking about dogs, and her picture was of her little puppy. And all she said in her call to action, hey, give me a comment of your dog's name or your pet's name and show a picture. Immediately, she's not asking, not even for a donation. She's not asking for support. All she's saying is, hey, are you a dog lover? Are you a pet owner? Show some love. I just want to see a picture of your dog. They all started pouring in terms of the comments. Hey, this is me with my little pup. This is me with my little cat, etc. What is that showing? That those are her ideal audience members. That she just wants to reach out and say, hey, I love the picture that you showed of your dog, Teddy. Love it. How old is he? Just start a conversation. So that is very important to be strategic. We talked about setting up a post with credibility or authority, or setting up a post lead magnets. So it doesn't have to be a resource the way that I'm providing over here. Ask for a picture. Hey, we're based in Kenya. Have you ever traveled to Kenya? Raise your hands if you have. What was your favorite city? What was your favorite community? All of a sudden, you're going to start seeing in your audience, oh, those that went to Kenya, those that had a beautiful time. I had an experience where I actually went on a safari here. I had an experience where I traveled with my children there, etc. That's your ideal audience. And for every single one of those individuals, I highly suggest that you then click on their name and you connect with them and send a message. So as you can tell, I already have plenty of different conversations with every single one that engaged with my post. What you don't want is to create a post and then not even write a follow-up message, because then it just dies. The opportunity dies right there. So make sure that you treat LinkedIn in that format. Now we're entering we went from building an attractive profile, Two, how to create content that converts. So content in terms of authority, credibility, or lead magnets. How to find those community members that want to support your mission. Now we have to go into a third facet, which is the DMs. So sending out messages that actually allow you to set up a connection. Now, the reason that I mention this is because we understand nonprofits. We understand the scarcity mindset. We understand that you're desperate because you're doing amazing work with little funds, and it's tough. It's very difficult. But the problem is that we have to resist. The most tempting thing to do is ask for a donation. To reach out and say, let's say that you're reaching out to Mara and say, hello, Mara, I am looking for support. I need help. That is a general message that we find a lot of the times. And my feed gets filled a lot of the times with those type of messages. If I click over here, let's just write Nairobi because we've worked with quite a few nonprofits. But for example, I get this a lot. We are seeking support. We're seeking support for expanding our fundraising. We're seeking support. We need help. It's understandable, and I understand the position. But the reason that I bring this on and I'm very repetitive about it is because you also have to understand that a lot of the individuals that are on LinkedIn are also business owners. They have many things on their plate, and they just will either see your message and they'll decide to either connect or not connect at all whatsoever. And they're going to actually delete the message. They might just come here and then decide to archive it or delete it, delete the conversation, and they're going to forget about it. So we have to resist that temptation. When you're actually going to do a reach out, the very first thing is that you have to think about LinkedIn as if it was a networking event. How do you actually reach out to someone when you're first meeting them at a coffee shop, at a networking place? Generally speaking, I would never go up to someone at a networking event and say, hello, I'm Mario Hernandez. By the way, I'm selling this product for this price. Immediately, I'm going to be shunned out. I'm going to be the one that's forgotten and placed in the corner saying, oh, that right there, that person's transactional. Nobody wants that person. You feel awkward. And the same thing has to apply for nonprofits. If you go to a networking event and say, hello, I'm John, and I need help for my nonprofit. Listen, John, I don't even know you. Where are you based? What do you like? You haven't asked about me. Treat it in a very relationship first mindset. So when I'm reaching out to individuals, for example, and let's go over here, let's say to Jessica, I'm going to write here. Let's say I'm going to place in Austin. For an example, every single time, okay, let's see, Cookie, Executive Director, Ballet Austin. I don't really care what she works on at the moment. This is an example. Now, whenever you're reaching out to somebody, the first thing you have to do is always think about it in a relationship first mindset. What I mean by that is take the time to look at their profile really fast, see what they're all about. What have they worked on? What are their projects? Have they posted? Have they not? This just gives you a little bit of an understanding of who they are so that when you're reaching out, and placing a connect button over here, it allows you to add a note. When you're sending out connection requests without a note, it becomes very difficult. People will generally open it at a 20% rate. Now, when you add a note, this is where a lot of people go wrong. They're going to say, I am Mario, for example. I run an organization that, let's say, that is based in Austin. We need support. This is what we see a lot, and so on. Okay. What is the problem here? It's telling you, I am Mario. This is me. I run an organization. It's what I'm doing. I don't care about you. I'm based in Austin, and we need support. The entire magnifying glass, everything is focused on me. And I'm not even asking about the person. Hey, what do you do? Who are you? What are you about? It's all completely egotistical. It's about me. I need this, I need support, and so forth. Nobody likes to get that approach. So, first rule, be less interesting and be more interested. Be interested in them. They're the ones who ultimately are going to support your mission. So you have to be interested in who they are, whether it's a corporate partner that you're looking to actually obtain sponsorship from, whether it's a potential board member, whether it's a volunteer, anybody that you're reaching out to and you want their support, you have to have that human-centric mindset of saying, I want to know who you are. So now I'm going to give you an example of how we flip the script. Because the first rule as well, when you're sending out an invitation, you're not looking for support immediately. What you're looking for is for them to accept your connection request. That is the number one rule here for this connection request that you're sending out to. is that if I want to connect with Cookie Reese, for example, I am not going to talk about my organization. I'm not going to talk about anything other than making sure that I can actually connect with her, that she says accept. Once she clicks that accept button, there's a relationship that has begun. So how would I go about this? I see Cookie, let's say that for an example, and I'm going to give you as well with the free resources, a lot of templated DMs that we already know that are proven to work. So you can just copy paste every single one for your reach outs. And you can start doing that today. Again, for free, we're going to send that over to you at the end of this call. But one of the ones that I personally love is understanding geography, locations. So I've been fortunate enough to just travel a bit and understand different locations and how different cultures talk, different places. So for example, I know Austin, Texas very well. So if I was reaching out to Cookie, I'd just say something very human. I say, hey, Cookie, love to see another Austinite in the network. Okay? Austinite, I know, is a local language that they like to call themselves. So I've done a little bit of research and I know that. So another Austinite in the network, I'll make a slight joke. I swear, my feed, my feed is filled with people from the West Coast. Love it. Okay, very human. I'm just telling her, hey, listen, I love the fact that you're from Austin. I swear my feed is filled with people from the West Coast, California, all these tech individuals. This is refreshing. Have you ever tried Two Hands Coffee on South Congress? It's a good coffee shop. I know South Congress. It's a good coffee shop there. And I'm telling you this because I've either been to Austin, but if I have not, this is where ChatGPT comes into play. Utilize AI. And again, I'm going to send you all these resources of how you can use AI to understand the geography, placing in a good coffee shop that you can just discuss with or mention to build that relationship. So, have you ever tried Two Hands Coffee on South Congress? 10 for 10 coffee. Wonderful. That's it. I am not reaching out. I am not asking for support. I am not telling them who I am. I'm just being very human. Hey, Cookie, love to see that you're from Austin also. Oh, it's very refreshing. Have you ever tried Two Hands Coffee on South Congress? Absolutely wonderful coffee. Keep inspiring. That's it. And I'm going to send the connection request. That simple. Now, I'm going to show you why that is so powerful. And let me see if I can find Jennifer here who connected with me earlier today. As you can tell, I am extremely active on LinkedIn. Let's see. Where are you? There we go. Jennifer. As you can tell, I just used one of the same things. This connection happened today. Hello, Jennifer. Would be glad to connect with another Austinite change maker. Same message that I just showed you. Great coffee. What did she respond? I haven't been to that coffee shop yet. I'll have to try it out next time I'm down there. Thanks for the suggestion. She decided to connect with me and she's a person that I really want to work with. But immediately this happened today. I sent her the connection request this morning. She accepted. And listen, we're already having a conversation. There we go. Hey, listen, there's a conference. Thanks. I'll check it out. This is very human psychology. Let's just have a conversation. So think about this when you're actually doing your reach outs. Resist the temptation to pitch, to ask for a donation. Just set up a conversation. And then from that conversation, utilize the templates that we also have that I'm going to be sharing with you as to how to lead that conversation to the point that you're going to ask for a support for a donation, but you're also going to make it in a very collaborative mindset. What can we do to support your initiatives? How can we help you? So there's an entire system to the madness that is LinkedIn. That's why I really want you to pay attention of one, profiles. How important the profile is. Again, making it attractive to become findable and become fundable. Two, content that converts, moving from an audience to building a community, people that can support your mission and how to find those individuals. Three, how to actually send connection requests so that they can actually accept your invite. And then once they've accepted your invite, how to lead them to such a way that you can actually ask to jump on a call and work together. So this is why LinkedIn is so powerful, and we have to understand that.